Hey, welcome back to Vaguely Adults. You got two of your favorite vaguely looking adults here. I'm one of your hosts, Sarana, and
I'm Shirley.
if you can't tell, we're a bit cold. Because it's the season not to be jolly that has passed. Or it is to come, whatever you want.
Yeah. Burr, 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 burr.
But yeah, it's a bit cold outside, don't you think?
It is freezing. I don't like layers. I am anti-scarf, anti-gloves, and anti-hats. Anyway, if you're watching the podcast, I am wearing gloves and not a hat, but close enough. It covers my ears.
And layers.
And layers. Oh, yeah.
She was explaining, and I was like, but you just...
Full on layers.
I'm very much a hat person. If you've watched previous episodes, you can definitely tell. Not just beanies, but the variety of the dad cap, if you will. I'm not a glove person. I just tough it out or really try to keep my tiny hands and tiny fists and shove them in my pockets because, yeah, that's it.
My pockets are usually...
Oh, I just sniffled into the mic. Yeah, I'm sorry.
My pockets are usually full of junk is what I was trying to say. So my hands usually don't fit, and or I have girl jeans, aka no pocket jeans, or girl sweaters, or girl jackets, aka no pockets on anything.
Yeah, the life we live.
Truly.
That's like one of my proper catchphrases these days.
That is the life we live.
Yeah, but the winter season, is it your favorite season?
No, it's actually my least favorite season.
Okay, but just real quick, winter, the K-pop idol from aespa, though, fantastic. Just fantastic.
I love the K-pop plug everywhere, like any way you can.
I mean, her name is a season.
But I could have literally been like, oh yeah, I fell in the snow one time. You're like, you know, when you fall in the snow, it's during the winter. You know who's named Winter? K-pop.
Not K-pop.
No, K-pop. That's insert K-pop line.
Anyway, yeah, my favorite winter is Kim Min-jung. So that's my favorite winter. I absolutely hate the season though. Like, it's my least favorite season. I am a Caribbean child.
I love seasoning on my chicken, on my tofu. I don't eat chicken anymore, but it's the first thing that came into my mind.
Seasoning on my food. You know what's really shocked me about seasoning? How much salt you need for things.
Yes.
Which, stay tuned, because we're going to be talking about cooking very, very soon.
Yeah.
So a whole cooking themed episode on the way.
Maybe we'll wear a pot on our heads. Stay tuned. Who knows, you know?
We can have like a pot just as decoration.
Just threateningly behind us.
You gotta tune in to see what happens in that episode. But the actual season of the year that we experience as we live in a four-season, not a hotel. I'm sorry. I had to. Yeah, I'm a child of the Caribbean. I was born in Trinidad. I love the sun. I love the heat. The summer is my favorite season of all time. I would rather melt than freeze. That is it.
I don't like sweating.
I know the argument of like, well, in the winter you can just like put on a bunch of layers. I don't care.
I don't like layers. I
will wear the least amount of clothing as possible.
She got there.
Yeah.
She got there.
The one brain cell's been working real hard today, yeah.
No, fall is my favorite season because I can wear a skirt and or a dress and a sweater or long cardigan. I told you I shed like a dog.
Me too.
And I hate winter because I don't like layers. I get sick often in the winter time because I don't wear layers. This is the most closed thing I can wear, and even then it's kind of suffocating. I've gotten more used to it as I've grown older. But funny story, it's not that funny, but when I was little,
it's funny if you have trauma,
right? When I was little, I never liked wearing things that were closed, and so whenever they would zip my jacket up, I would start pretending to choke. So I'd be like, can't breathe, right? So
full on actress here. Yeah. Any shows
for
coming
free,
up,
bro? Like,
cast her.
So they would jokingly like zip up my jacket every time, and they'd be like, look at this, and they would zip up my jacket, and I would just go full on in. So I still do that as an adult, like jokingly kind of. And yeah, I don't like things that are closed neck. I don't like turtlenecks for that reason. I feel suffocated. it's also the reason why, like, when I'm under a blanket, I need to have like one arm out, and it bothers my mom because my hand will be freezing, and I'm like, yeah, but the other one's warming up, so I'll switch in a bit, but I can't have both.
It's about that rotation.
Yeah. I can't sit in the middle of two people because I feel suffocated. I'm not claustrophobic though. I have no problem with small spaces.
No, I think this might be
No, incorrect.
It might be a type. Anyway, I love hoodies. I love pullover hoodies. I love zip-up hoodies. I normally put the blanket over my head and look like a little babushka if it's cold outside. I thrive with layers. Like, I layer as much as I can on most days. But also most days nowadays, I don't go outside. Well, I said days a lot. Take a shot every time I said days, just not a shot of water, though. Stay hydrated. Wow, that was a lot of words in a short amount of time.
I was going to say, I got made fun of when I went to cover at a different store because apparently it was the coldest winter day in New York in 10 years. And I did not know that. So I did not have my gloves. I did not have a hat. I wore not a crop top, but it was a very thin shirt that kind of like just went tucked into my jeans. But my jeans were rolled up and I had short boots on so you could see my ankles. And I was freezing. Like,
what she's saying is that
store.
day was the biggest mistake that she's made seasonally. You've made worse seasonal mistakes.
Absolutely. I've worn dresses in wintertime.
That's a choice. That's not a mistake. You actively chose that to put yourself in that situation.
This is fair.
Anyways, we talk about this because no idea when this is coming out, but eventually it's January and there's a massive nor'easter that's coming up this way, and it's going to be apparently a truck ton of snow that's going to hit us. And I'm checking the weather. Currently, the next couple days is going to be, this is in degrees Celsius. I don't know what your American equivalent is, but we're going to be around like -10, -11, feels like -16. We're not Canada cold. Again, this is in Celsius, but feeling like -16 just sounds like an awful time, and I don't want to be outside.
Yeah, it's in for the Fahrenheit folk.
The American?
The Fahrenheit folk. It is going to be in the 30s and 20s. But then next week, it's supposed to be super warm. It's supposed to go into the 40s, almost 50s. But
but your 20s are going to feel like maybe single digits. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then it's supposed to snow like crazy on Saturday. Luckily, I'm off. But if you have ever been to New York, lived in New York, or have seen videos of New York, the first day that it snows is
it's
beautiful.
Amazing. It's so pretty.
Gorgeous. And then shortly after it stops, it becomes a sludgy tar mess.
And like disgustingly, think of vomit mixed into garbage that has sat outside as long as a rotten banana has sat outside. Like,
set it on fire, melt it, refreeze it, let it melt again.
Throw up on it, and then slap some expired moldy bread on it.
And that is New York winter after it snows. And
don't you just love that visual?
Amazing. Pure. But I work an hour and a half away from home, and my trains run half underground and half above ground.
And let's just say that the New York City Transit is not...
It's already trash. Like, when it rains...
I was going to say not the most reliable, and I stopped that not, because it's not...
It's just... My station was flooded that people literally could not go in because the water was like midway up your rib cage.
Yeah, when we had those flash floods, if you've seen videos of literal like tiny tsunamis going down into the train stations, it was actually that bad. Like people's cars, that was the most watered car. There's a string of words I'm trying to put together right now that the half a brain cell isn't working.
You got this.
The most cars that ended up on used sites after that were all water damage cars because of the storm.
Yeah.
So that means like we have a ton of cars that are completely useless that's on a market where is not useful. It's just
Yeah, so I'm not excited to travel the following day after the storm to get to work and to get home because I know I'm going to have to leave at least an hour before what I usually leave. So that means that's a 2.5 hour time travel. Only I could time travel to get to work.
In the same state.
In the same state. Which
That's not even that far. It's about like a 15-ish mile journey.
Yeah, but subway systems aren't routed to work. So it's gonna be a bizarre time. Maybe I will fall, send Sarana pictures. Who knows? When I was little, my dad told me, hey, don't jump in that puddle. And I was like, this puddle? And then I jumped on it and it was ice. And I fell and split my pants like SpongeBob. And I had to go back home and change my pants. And he still took me to school.
Hey, well, if you are walking somewhere, it's a New York City sidewalk that's not salted or
shoveled.
Sue.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that bad of a... I mean, I hope you don't have a bad trip, but I'm just saying if you happen to have a trip, make it worthwhile.
Facts.
This is not advice. We are not professionals.
Do not try this at home.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy. Like, I've lived in the city for many years, and I mentioned earlier that I remembered a time where it snowed in October, and she was like, no. It's never snowed in October. What do you mean? And I'm like, no, there was a time.
We were talking about how winter has drastically changed. Because I remember Halloween, when I was little, I would have layers on layers on layers under my costume.
And my costume looked dumb, but anyways, aside
and then
point.
a jacket on top, and that would only take off for the pictures or to show someone my costume. And this last Halloween, I was in a dress, just a thin dress, and I was fine. There was no... I actually was a short, thin dress because I was Bubbles. And...
No, I'm not inserting pictures. Go find it yourself.
But yeah, and I was fine. It wasn't cold. I had a jacket because my dad was harassing me about putting a jacket on because he's like, it's cold. And I was like, you're just old. But then we went to get crepes at 3 in the morning. It was an adventure. And it's just like how drastically it's changed. Before, in November... I was like, in November, December, it would snow. And Sarana was like, no, it snowed in October. And I'm like, I don't remember there being snow
I remember very specifically one instance that Google backed me up on.
Yeah.
But apparently that was...
in 2006.
That was the only instance.
And I was just like, it was just that one time in all of New York.
It's embedded in my memory.
And she's like, that's it. That's enough. I was right then. Which, whatever. But now it snows in like February, March. This is the end of January. We're going into February.
I always expect January to be brick as heck, but it's definitely shifted from like late October being winter, late October to early March. Let me try that one more time. Winter used to be, hand gestures and all, late October into late February, early March. And now it feels like it's pushed to like at least December.
Yeah. Because, like, even Thanksgiving wasn't that cold. It was cold, but nothing we couldn't handle. Like, I didn't have to wear gloves or a hat.
Yeah, I could still run outside to go to the corner store in my PJs.
Yeah, or unzipped jacket. Like, that was fine.
Now it's like, wishing for a white Christmas yeah, anyways. Wishing for a white Christmas now is kind of asking for a miracle in I don't even have words. I'm not speaking coherently. I apologize. But I feel like a white Christmas is still more of a Canada thing than a...
I don't want a white Christmas. I want someone to marry me and whisk me away to somewhere where it is, like, tempered. Like Ecuador, where I come from. Where I spawn. Right.
You weren't even spawned.
I was going to say I was born right here in New York, but we won't talk about that. We're going to pretend I have some culture.
I mean, technically...
Back in the homeland, the weather is in the 60s all the time. And I remember visiting a distant family that I didn't actually know, and it was like 52 degrees, and they were like in sweaters and jeans, and they're like, oh my god, it's as cold as like a New York winter. And I was just like, yeah, in my t-shirt and shorts, like, yeah, it's totally freezing here. And it's nice. The only drawback is that it rains so much.
Yeah, anyway, so New York winter, what a time. Which, by the way, did you know that winter was in New York for Thanksgiving?
I did, because you wouldn't shut up about it.
Yes, the Thanksgiving Day parade. It was a good time. I was meant to go, but I had a whole situation. Yeah, I had a whole situation. It was really bad. I don't know if you're watching the Viewable podcast. I didn't acknowledge it before, but I have a massive scar on my face now. It still looks very bruised, but I had a situation. It was not abuse, but
Wasn't me.
not taking credit immediately. She's
Not
like,
taking
it
credit.
wasn't me, wasn't me,
It
wasn't
was
me.
not me.
But yeah, I had an infection that was just pretty bad, and it's just discolored my face, and I'm just waiting for it to fade very slowly.
I mean, it's gone a lot faster than what I thought it was going to take, to be honest.
I don't look as abused. Anyways, this is not a joking matter. We don't condone. Anyway.
What's the soundboard? Cancel.
Hey, I really want a soundboard. Like, I just want to make enough money so I can buy one of those soundboards and have all these pre-installed. Anyway, winter in New York, the person, great, fantastic. Winter in New York,
The season.
I don't like it.
Yeah, take it back.
Yeah.
But also, don't take it back. Global warming is real. Give me a cold winter, but also take it away.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Take me away.
Not
to
the
a better
Natasha.
place.
Yeah, well, we're trying to have a pocket full of sunshine, but it's too depressing to have that. All that being said, what is your favorite season? How do you feel about winter, the K-pop idol, and the season?
Right.
Only good things about winter, though. The K-pop idol, or else.
Do you dislike winter the season, or are you wrong? You know?
There's
That's
only one
it.
right answer, honestly, and if you say anything otherwise, I don't know.
Coming for
Why are
you.
you here?
Coming for you.
All that being said, hope you're staying safe, hope you're staying relatively warm or cool wherever you are. I don't know who you are, where you're listening from, but stay hydrated as well. Regardless of the season, hydration is important.
Yes.
And we will catch you guys next time. Bye.
Vaguely adult.